like HAAi is an idea, like, God, over 10 years ago now. It came from when I was playing in shoegaze bands. Yeah, it was like the name of one of my favourite songs. It's by an Indonesian psych group called the Panbers. We put the name on this sandwich board out the front of the Ridley Road Market Bar where I was playing, and it just kind of stuck. Ridley Road Market Bar is an institution, I would say, in Dalston. As soon as you walk through the door there, it feels like a nice tropical warm hug. I used to work on the bar there, and that's how I started playing records. I did do an album launch there. I thought it was nice to go back to a place that really felt like home. The music inspiration for HAAi as an artist, it was a real kind of journey, I think. My sound I feel like it's always evolving. If you sort of go back, I can hear my influences at the time that I was getting from DJing more in clubs and festivals and all the rest of it. And I did go down a very sort of like glitchy, sort of dancey, techno-y lane for a little bit. And I think after my first album that I made, Baby We're Ascending, I feel like was a real exploration in production and my skills and what I'd learned, and kind of wanting to show that off. Once it came round to HUMANiSE, I just started writing songs again more, which I really, really enjoyed. I felt like maybe I had a little bit more to say, which is why I started singing, and it was just kind of what was coming out more at the time. And then, you know, once you start writing stuff and you're thinking about melodies and lyrics rather than like, oh, how do I make this sound as glitchy as possible? Or, yeah, I was really, really enjoying it, and felt like I had a few things to say, so, yeah. There was a lot of inspiration behind HUMANiSE as an album. Like Ethel Cain, I just find the way that she writes and her stories and what she's doing, and, yeah, so much like kind of depth and humanity to them, which I find really interesting. The collaborations on HUMANiSE, it tends to usually be friends and people that I sort of kick about with. I'd worked with John Hopkins. We have such a fondness for each other, and as artists and just as pals. Working with Obi as well, Obi Frankie. She sung on a couple tracks on my last album, and she's always a pleasure to work with. And same with Alexis Taylor. You know, I feel like it's just kind of like calling up the homies again, which is really nice. Felt like getting the band back together. So everyone that sang or did anything lyrical on the album that wasn't me was written by them, which for me, that's like true collaboration. We use this room a lot. I wrote in here by myself for the bulk of most of the tracks. And then I worked again with a friend of mine, Pat Alvarez, who co-produced a lot of it with me. You can't work with someone and learn from their kind of process. And yeah, I just love working with him so much. HUMANiSE, for me, is sonically meant to sound like a battle between what's real and what's not. The human error with stuff is something really important with music, and something that I feel like is, again, something that can't really be like manufactured. When I use my voice in a track, I think there's an unintentional kind of like aching to anything that I tend to sing. I think because you just put all of your feeling into it. Like when we were doing vocal takes, there was a couple times where I really emotional and I had to go for a little walk. And you're not feeling sad, it's just you're sort of like living what you're singing. I feel like there's so many different versions of this album being performed, because we did this film which was something that I would love to explore doing live and make it as immersive as possible. Then there's a whole other version of it which I've done, which is totally stripped back, which is just me and keys and a couple of machines, which also worked really nicely. I did a few installs around the album release. I think there was something about the intimacy of it, and I don't know if vulnerability is the right word, but there was something about the way that you can do that and feel like you're really close to people. I've thought about this quite a lot recently, about like the relationship between like a performer and the audience, and how much I want to kind of like take that wall away a little bit. But I think one of the things that I really have enjoyed is there's something about when you kind of look at an audience and you can see how engaged everyone is. And it's such a different thing to DJing. Because the thing with, I guess, if you're playing other people's records is like, you kind of want people to be as rowdy and moving around as much as possible, but when you're playing the kind of like more, slightly more like immersive music, there's a stillness and focus, which I found like quite jarring at the start, I think, because it's, you know, that would normally represent people not kind of being happy, and you sort of learn that that's, you know, the more that people are engaging, the quieter they are. I feel like we're so like on the edge of so much more exploration with what we can do with like immersive sound. I did an immersive mix for my last live show. We actually did it in the L-Acoustics studio. I performed at Earth, which has a 40 speaker like surround sound. It was incredible. I learned so much about using that software as well, and the way that they used the speakers was almost like they were taking the whole, in like the entirety of the sound and kind of moving it sort of together around the room, which I thought sounded wicked. For me, the big hope in music is for people just to lean into the human side of it as much as possible. Something that I really lent into recently is just like storytelling. That's the most human that you can get, I think, is like talking or singing about your own lived experiences and emotions. And I think right now you can really hear what is and what isn't human.